So fall is in full swing here, and I wanted to kind of go down to the pig silvopasture, and the pigs are all processed now, kind of show once again the effect that it has running pigs through your woods. So we'll go down there, we'll take a look, and I'll show you the last paddock they were in. I haven't seeded it yet, and it's fall, so things aren't growing actively. I'm going to seed it before, I'm going to seed it today. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, and then it'll green up. But I'll show you the last one they were in, which I didn't seed, and it greened up on its own due to the natural seed bed. So here's the fence line of where they were, and you can see there's still some stuff in there growing, but not a lot of new growth. There's some baby plants, but I'm going to seed this whole thing. This was my wood chip path. The pigs destroyed that. I knew they would. That's my bad, but I'll just make another one. But they do some other awesome things, right? So this stump wasn't a stump. That well, it was, but it was much taller. That tree right there got knocked off of here. The pigs just chew away at the rotten wood to dig for bugs and stuff. They knock it down, and then and it's out of the way, right? So now it's not going to block as much, create as much shade. So, spots that wouldn't have gotten full sun will now get full sun. And they do that all over the place. Look at all these logs. So they busted all this stuff up. Some more observations are they don't really like autumn olive. I got a lot of autumn olive here. The pigs use it as a scratching post, but they don't eat it. They do like, this is a hawthorn here. So all the berries that drop off the hawthorn, they love those. They eat those, they eat the apples. There's apple trees out here. But they leave a lot of the other stuff alone. And then the other thing I don't have to worry about is most of these big trees are black walnut. They eat all of the black walnuts. So the squirrels are going to be deprived because there's not a single black walnut out here in these woods. At least not where the pigs were. They munch them up. But you can see they've opened this up. If you look back to the video where I started this paddock, this was pretty dense. Lots of thorn bushes and scrubby, brushy crap in here. The pigs have moved it all. And look at all that new growth. I didn't seed that. That's just, the bushes being gone and the sun hitting the ground. Right now we're in late October. That'll cover up all this soil before the freeze sets in. And then in the spring, it'll really explode. So once again, use pigs to clear land. It's, it's low cost. Pigs aren't that expensive. You do have to manage them, and then you get to eat them. So it's like a win in very, 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 very various ways. So let's go take a look at last paddock here. That was from August into September. Oh, another lesson learned real quick. My tree pod idea, it's a complete failure, right? So there's no smart way to fence pigs out of little clumps of trees like this if those are in the middle of their paddock. They always have to be on the edge. You can see here's one of the ones I tried in the middle, and I tried very hard to keep the pigs out of it. Absolute failure. But this is the paddock they were in. Look at it. That's not grass. Well, that's grass seed way over there, that dark green clump. But this here, all existing seed. So I think there's a lot of orchard grass. There's some plantain in there. A little bit of clover. These little guys are pokeberry. I'll leave them alone. The pigs eat them, but they don't seem to bother with them too much. Once again, that feeder, it's the only way to go. You can see the area around the feeder gets beat to death, but I move them pretty frequently. Just drag them around with my machine or by hand. You can move this by hand. It's tough, but definitely doable once it's empty. And then as long as you don't leave one area, to get beat down too bad, it recovers. Here's some more of their last paddock. You can see the wallows. They dug a pond here. So that's all clay. So that'll fill with water. And by spring, that'll be a nice frog pond. Then the pigs will reuse it the next year. But that's fine. That's what this whole space is for. Eventually, I'm going to have cows out in here. We're also going to take down a lot of trees. Any of these dead ashes, they're coming down this winter. Any of these scraggly maples, look at that thing. That's coming down. We're going to very much thin the trees out here. That maple's coming down because it's half rotted at the bottom anyway. And then the pigs I'll leave most of the wood. If it's rotten wood, it's just staying on the ground. The pigs will bust it up and turn it into dirt. And then the rest of it, firewood, you know. So another yield. But I don't know. I love fall. It's beautiful out here. So let's take a look at some other things. So another project I got to get done this winter is I'm going to do high tensile fence around the perimeter of the whole pig area. I've already started, but you know, things get in the way. We just got done butchering all our animals, cleaning up everything, and it became a very, I don't know, there was no free time. So now that most of the animals are gone, I'm going to run all along this path here, and then all the way out to there where there's a corner, down all the way and around about 1,000 linear feet is all going to be high tensile wire with an extra wire, hot wire at the bottom. I'm still going to use the pig net, but this will give me an added level of, I guess, confidence that if my pigs do get out of the net, which does happen from time to time, that they're still contained on my property and not becoming a nuisance. So I will get this fence in. Right now we're using an auger and a post hole digger. That's a lot of work, but the you know, the other option is to try and get a skid steer back in here, and there's not really room to operate. Plus it's going to, wow, the camera's going crazy today. Plus it's gonna compact the soil, which the pigs will uncompact it or decompact it, but I would rather not get heavy machinery back here if I don't have to. Another thing I might take up is deer hunting. So this was a tulip poplar, a 2-year-old tulip poplar. It was doing really, really well. And it wasn't eaten, but I think a deer ran through here and just snapped it clean off. The rest is laying right there. So that tree was really healthy. And now, it'll probably come back from this stump, but I've lost, because there's still some buds there, but I've lost a whole lot of growth. So we'll see what happens. But that was a nice tree. And you can see all the deer paths going through here. This is like deer Shangri-La. So I got some other trees back there in various degrees of success. I don't really baby them. This is a pretty wet area, so I don't have to worry about them drying out, but I put them in there, I put a tube on them, and I don't know, about 50% make it, so we'll see. This willow right here is doing really good, so I'm glad for that. Willows are, first of all, everything eats them, and secondly, they're good drinkers. Dry this out a little. This path here will be more of my high tensile perimeter fence for the pig paddock. That was done with, all the materials were bought with a grant from the Food Animal Concerns Trust, FACT, a pretty awesome organization, and they do an annual grant for farmers. It's not a ton of money, but it is enough to get, you know, fence posts. You can see we're doing all those by hand. It takes a lot of time to bust through all this crap, but again, I don't want to bring machinery back here, and then we'll just continue on. Soon the whole property will be fenced like this. There's Jasper. What's up, buddy? You gonna come say hi? Come on, Jasper. He's getting kind of fat. Come on, man. You gonna come say hi? Come on, buddy. A little faster, please. Now you gotta stop the scratch. Come on, buddy. That's my chunky donkey. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. You wanna say hi? You wanna say hi? Oh, come on, little, almost there. Oh. Now, you just want to come over and see if I have snacks? You don't look like you need any snacks. Too many apples. Too many apples. He's a good boy. He's putting on his winter coat, so not all that's fat. Some of that's winter preparation because it gets chilly out here. So we'll tie into the back of this fence for the pig area and then shoot all the way down behind the barn and then bang a left and tie in there again. This was an elder. This is a 3-year-old elder that I planted. I don't know if it's broken in there. I hope it's not. The cows got at it, but you can see this little guy right here, right next to it, is nice and green still. Whereas this one's starting to turn brown and get sad. It doesn't feel broken, but it might be snapped right in there. And that's okay. Again, I'll just remove the dead wood and it will grow off that stump. These guys are so good. You can just cut a stick. You can just cut this right here, shove it in the ground, and you're going to get another elderberry bush. Look at all of them. I got elderberry all over the place. The animals don't really eat it, but the birds do. And I like birds. Plus I keep the berries and try to make things with them, syrups, and I'm going to make a winter wheat beer with elderberry, but all these are elders. Got to rip out this old fence on the back side. That's from another project. I only left this one chunk because it supports all my electric currently. Chicken tractors did good again this year, so they need to be drug up to the top of the hill. They're going to start up there in the corner. Every year I move them over, boom, boom, boom. So this will be the 3rd year, and they'll run down here, and then by the time they make it to the gate, it's butchering time. So rip out all this stuff. The cows will probably destroy my bushes here, but that's okay. And then what else here? Got this man gate. We're going to take the man gate and put it over here on Cronker stand and put fencing all around here because Kronk likes to rip up the fence. You can see it's all kind of bedraggled. This is old poultry net. This stuff only lasts like 4 or 5 years in the sun, and then it becomes so brittle you can break it with your fingers. But you know, so this is end of life fencing. The pig just pushes it out of the way when he wants to. This gate here fell off because I was just a little off on my hinge pin here, and it wasn't twisted like that. That twisted when the gate fell off, but it's just a hair off of being plumb. So as the gate moves back and forth, the fence works its way up and up and up and off. So, or the gate rather. So I probably need to move the whole gate up a hair, but that's not such a good idea because that means I'll have to move my latch. So what we're going to do actually is just move that top bracket and the top pin either up to here or here, just north or south of that staple, and make sure it's perfectly aligned so that I don't have that problem again. That shouldn't take too long. We'll be getting cows soon. A lot of other things that did good for me this year. I know it's kind of rambling, but I'm trying to capture the whole farm. This is a chestnut I planted. It's doing good. That was planted in the spring. This fig is still alive, but it's not doing as good as that fig right there. And I don't know why. They're both basically in the same exact spot. They get the same amount of sun. And, you know, the same amount of water. They're treated identically. And they're from the same fig tree. So why one would outperform another to this degree, I don't know. But this still has nice buds on it. You know, it's not dead by any stretch. It's been through 2 frosts now, so that's not the problem. So we'll see. I'm not going to rip it out, but I think this guy here is going to be the one that I reuse genetics off of and plant all over the property. These figs aren't ripe yet, so they're not ready to be pulled, but hopefully soon because I want to eat them. But that's a good looking fig tree. It's getting ready to go dormant. There you go. Goose season. The geese fly low enough here, you can just sit in one of these chairs and shoot them. That'd be fun. All that's left in this garden is mint. I just leave it alone. That's all gone to seed. This whole bed will be mint next year. I can always rip it out if I want to plant something else there, but I don't have a lot of time for the garden. Not as much as I'd like. Goji berries did really good. This bush is, I gotta learn how to propagate this guy. The birds come and eat the berries, but I'm sure I could eat them too. But I would love to spread this around. I mean, look how pretty that is. That's an awesome little bush. Get that all over the property. It's time to replant my trees here. Of all the things I planted in this bed, the hybrid poplar did the best. So that's this. This is hybrid poplar. There's one mulberry here that lived. All the rest of the mulberries died. They were doing great too. And then the elderberries did fine too. So I'm going to stick elderberry all over the place. But I'm not going to baby them. And I'm not really going to worry about them, right? So I'm going to go around the perimeter and I'm going to plant poplars and elderberries, starting up there to kind of block out that farm and create a visual barrier, because these guys will get real tall. I mean, these were sticks and they're already what? That one there's probably 7 feet tall. So, you know, a couple years, these are going to be 30-foot trees all along that edge. And then I can top them, and high protein leaves here. So the cows will eat them. If I ever get Jasper up in there, he'd love them. So got to get those guys replanted. Got to take down the birdhouse and see what's living in there. I'm pretty sure it's starlings. Not the purple martins that I wanted. Haven't seen a purple martin around here, so maybe I didn't pick the right spot. Who knows? That's about it. Other projects this winter are going to be taking down this whole clump of trees. Anything over like 3 inches I'm going to leave, and I'll make a better determination in the spring when I see how everything comes out. And then known food sources like this right here is a nice hazelnut bush, so that's gonna stay. I'm going to continue to allow that to hedge out and grow. That cherry, mostly alive the whole time. Look at all them cherries up there. Or not cherries, that's some other, that's honeysuckle maybe. But the big tree in there is a black cherry. So mostly alive. I'll trim off all the lower branches and leave the stem. That's a walnut, that's got to go. There's a mulberry. Look at that, that's a mulberry. So we'll leave him. And autumn olive, lots of autumn olive in here. That's all coming out. Pokeberry I'm going to take out. Black walnut I'm going to take out. But then this will be opened up nicely, and we'll keep what's good for the place and drop what's not. I'm not going to bother burning anything. I'm just going to leave it all on the ground to rot. That's what I did over here, and it's working really well. So a lot of work. I'll get into specific projects in more detail as we get them done. But now that winter's here, I'll be able to definitely pick up the pace on getting work done. So yeah, I guess winter's supposed to be your time of relaxation and regeneration, but for me it's going to be a time where I get everything done here that I had to neglect due to limited time in the summer. Again, I still work another job, so I don't have 8 hours a day, or in the summer I guess if I didn't sleep I would, but I don't have as much time as I'd like to work on this place, so I got to work when I can. In the wintertime, at least you're not sweating, right? So we're gonna get a lot of stuff done. We're gonna get a lot of wood split, a lot of fences installed. We're gonna fix this disaster, which is Kronk's fence back there. He just rips it up every day, so that's not very effective. All the chickens get out. So we're gonna get some welded wire fence around there. There might be one less rooster. We'll see. But yeah, get everything cleaned up here and document it all so that I have a record, and anybody else who wants to replicate it, they can do so. So have a great day.